This is the last crowd trigger in Concept 6 mini-series that will be implemented and will be a little bit more advanced to help you in making more sophisticated crowd setup. We're going to target specific agents in the crowd simulation and apply velocity changes directly in the simulation itself. So this can be reacting to whatever is going on in the crowd sim itself, making things way more dynamic. Basic concept number 6C, target selective agents in crowd sim. So this is where we left off from the last time, where we have our protagonist running towards the group of agents that are gathering around together, and they're just idling at the moment. So the last crowd trigger that we had set up was our protagonist going from a running state into a walking state as he gets closer. So there it is, running, and then walking when he gets close. Now the next thing we want is the small group of crowd agents to spread out, to walk away. Right now they're idling, they're in the idle state. So we want to switch the idle state into a walking away state. We want to target this specific group of agents that are gathering together. And that's this purple setup we have here. So these are the agents that are instantiating over here, which are these dots. What I want to show you is the heading, the velocity. The initial state is they start in an idle state. And the velocity and heading, they're facing towards the center. This is taking the center point of the circle and subtracting wherever they're standing. A simple vector subtraction. So this is just vector math. That's in a different mini series altogether. So that's a little out of the focus of this video. What I really want to focus on is this agent type node. It's a wrangle with a specific agent type custom attribute that I created. So if we look over here in the spreadsheet, so you'll see that the agent type here is 2. Well, I've made it 2, which is different from our protagonist. So our protagonist has a agent type value of 1. So this is a good way on how we can use this attribute to distinguish between the protagonist character that's going to run up towards the crowd of agents and from the gang of agents that are standing and idling. So we can target this small group of agents and trigger a specific crowd transition. We're also going to overwrite the velocity so that they can walk away from everything. What I want to demonstrate is how to target selective agents with instructions in the crowd sim. I'm going to pre-calculate the direction that the small group of agents will start walking away from, because each agent walks away in a different direction. Later on, we'll substitute this with a direction that will be calculated in real time during the crowd simulation for more dynamic results. And we're going to have the agents sort of walk away from the protagonist character instead to show you something more dynamic. But as a stepping stone, I'm going to pre-calculate the directions to make things a little simpler and easier to digest. So let's drop down wrangle and we're going to put it right here. So this is going to be calculating direction. And I'm just going to name this circle gather. And that's just going to make it easier for me to feed into this wrangle. So I'm going to drop down object merge. And I'm going to feed this circle gathering into this merge. So that's this guy. Because I just need the center point of the circle. And I'm going to feed it into the second input. So we can start here. I'm going to go vector or walk away. The direction that they're going to walk away. And I'm going to go. So this is going to be a simple subtraction, vector subtraction. The current position of every agent subtracted by the center. Well, the center of the circle. We don't have that yet. So I'm just going to put center. Let's go back up here and I'm going to go vector. So since it's a position in 3D, so it's a vector and we called it center. And I'm going to go get bbox. So get bbox center is a Houdini vex function that can get the center position of the geometry that you feed into the input. So we're feeding the center position of the circle which is fed into the second input, which is denoted by 1 because it's 0 index base. Now we're not done yet. This is just direction. So we don't want the magnitude. We need to normalize this subtraction. What we have to do is put a normalize, and what this will do is just make the vector 1 unit, which has no magnitude because it's just it's just saying this direction 1 Houdini unit. We can always multiply velocity onto the direction, or multiply the speed onto the direction and get the velocity. Now we also want to record this. We want to store this into the spreadsheet. So we need that v at symbol dir equals direction. Okay, let's take a look. Oh, I have a spelling error. Normalize. Okay, there we go. Now let's take a look at the spreadsheet. Now there's our direction. And let's view this a bit better. Okay, let's actually make a marker. So I can actually see this now. So we can see the direction on the viewport. And let's go like this, edit this. We want a marker. We want vector trail. Our agents are pointing towards the center of the circle. Template it. Let me turn off the grid too. There's our circle and all the agents are directed towards the middle. The direction is flipped. We just need to flip it to the other way. So they're going to be walking away from the middle. So we come back to the wrangle. We come back to this wrangle and we're just going to reverse the subtraction. So we're going to go center minus at P. And that just reverses the direction, our result. Now let's go back into the .NET. Let's reset simulation. Turn off the points. Go into the .NET. Now let's set up our crowd trigger, our very last crowd trigger. So let me drop down a crowd trigger. And this is going to be based off, so we're going to be using particle proximity. And what this will do, it will calculate the distance between the agents, particle agents. Remember, all the agents in the crowd agents are just particles. So particle proximity is dynamic. It's calculating the distance between the agents in the simulation at runtime, which can be different depending on where the agent is. Now we also need a crowd transition. We're trying to make this group of people move. They're starting off with an idle position. So let me hook this up first. Let me hook this up to the rest of the simulation. So the input state will be the idle because that's what they're starting off with. They're just standing idling around. Then we want them to walk away. So they go into a walking state. I'm just going to leave the duration as default for now, and we're just going to see what happens. Just going to play it. So they're not really changing. I mean, it does look like they're walking around, right? But that's actually the idle animation. They're just going to walk around. And let's just be certain. Let's go into the spreadsheet, expand this. What we want is this geometry. Now let's look for the state. Come over here and I'm going to go into the attributes again. As I shown in the last tutorial, we can filter out the attributes because we're only interested in the state. So state, enter. So that's all we see. This is what we're interested in. Every single other guy or other mannequin is still in the idle state. So this trigger is not really working. It's either not triggering or it's not transitioning. Let's take a look at the crowd trigger first. And it says particle proximity. It's actually ignoring everything. If we look closely over here, the particle proximity has an extra option over here at the end, ignore same group, agent group. So that's like the default parameter. It's ignoring everything within the same group. It's a help button to find out more information as to what this group attribute is all about. Now it's actually looking for a string attribute that's part of the agent. So it says the name of a string point attribute agent will ignore other nearby agents that have the same value for this attribute. So the agent group is not something I created. It should be made by default, I'm guessing. But it's ignoring everything right now. What we want to do is that we want this trigger to ignore the group that's gathering together. We want them to calculate the proximity between them and the protagonist agent. But we want it to ignore everything else, as in proximity between them and each other within this group, within this small gathering group. Well, how can we distinguish the two groups? If you remember correctly, I had created an agent type attribute. Let's go back up to the top level. There's the agent type, and there's another agent type. This one is for the small group of people, and it has a value of 2. In order to satisfy the requirements of the parameter, I'm setting it as a string. This is an S right here, S at symbol, so it is a string, and it's a 2, but it is in quotes, so it is a string. Now this one is the protagonist, and it's just 1, alphanumeric 1. Let's go back to the .NET. Now we have something to put into this group attribute. Ignore same group. We want everything to be ignored if they have the same group name, which is agent type, which is the custom point string attribute that we created. All of this small gathering group has the value of 2. They're going to ignore the proximity of each other. The only one that they will not ignore is the protagonist character. So let's see how this goes and run it. So now they are actually walking away. You can see that they're walking. They're just not getting anywhere because the velocity is still 0. There is one thing wrong though. The direction is wrong too. They're walking towards the middle circle, which is something we'll fix a little later. There's several ways that we can manipulate the velocity right in the crowd simulation itself. I'm going to start off with the most simplest way to do it, or what I think is the simplest way. We're going to go into back into the crowd transition. There's actually an option here to use expressions. So we're going to make use of that. Let's enable it. So it pops up this little text box where we can put some code in. Now there's some example code. We'll get you started. So all you have to do is you can click this thing and pass through. So this will give you some demonstration of what this can do. I'm going to put all the agents, all the points, remember the agents are points, into a point group that actually go through with this transition, that actually transitions into the walking state. So I'm going to go set point group, and I want to set all the agents into this group. So it's asking us the geo handle. That's where is this line coming from? What input are we reading from? Well, there's only one input, so it's going to be 0. Because it's 0 index base. So we're going to have 0, and then now once you start typing, the tooltip goes away, so I have to keep going back here. And then we need the name. Well, that's going to be whatever name we set up because this point group doesn't exist yet. So I'm going to call it walk away. Remember, no spaces. So if you want a space, put an underscore in the middle. So no spaces. And it says point number. Well, that's just going to be whatever point number it's on, right? So it's the same as the wrangle, pt num. So it's the same thing. The last one we want is value. Well, we want to set it in the point group. So it has a value of 1. 0 would be removing it from the point group, but we want to put it into the point group. So 1, and then what's the mode? We want to set it. So just type set. So 1 and then set. And this should be setting all the agents into this group. So let's take a look. Now I want to come over here. I'm going to remove the state from the attribute filter because I want to actually see the group. Let's scroll over. There it is. Our walk away group is here. So let me go like this. Group : walk _ away. Okay. Now it's actually not correct because this is not really, it's not triggering. I'm going to add a state in here. So state and then space. So we have both filters in. Enter, and we'll see both of them. So we can see that the group is idling and it's still putting it in the group as well. Well, that's not correct. That's not what we want. We only want the gang of agents to be in our walk away group when they actually trigger the 4th trigger. And that's not happening. I mean, it's happening too early. It's happening right away. So this is another thing that I want to go over. Let's go back to the crowd trigger. And I only want to apply this particle proximity crowd trigger to this gang of agents, to this small gang of agents. I don't want to apply it to this protagonist. That's not what this crowd trigger is for. The protagonist already has a trigger. In the previous trigger over here, this is doing a calculation between the protagonist, the stage points over here, the points that are when it gets close enough to the circle. That's what this trigger is for. It gets a little bit more complicated because now we actually have more agents. At the beginning, we only had this one protagonist character and it was easy. It didn't matter. There was one agent. But we have to be more specific with the crowd triggers now. Every single time agents have a state or go into state or in a state in any one of these states. So our protagonist is running right now and it's in the running state at this moment, as we can see in the spreadsheet right here. Houdini will create a group automatically for it. Let's go back into this crowd trigger and let's enable this. And let's take a look at what we have. So there's this button right here, drop down, and you can see that there's a stream, an underscore crowd active, stream underscore crowd active 1, stream underscore idle, jump up, running, walking, and we even have the walk away one. We can't use that yet. I only want to apply the 3rd crowd trigger to our protagonist character when he's only running. This is applied to the stream running, which can be any agent in the running state. So you have to be careful. Now, because this scene is a very simple scene, and I know that this small gang of agents are never in the running state, ever. So this will never be applied to them. You can be more specific, and you can go like at agent type equals 1, because we know for sure that is the protagonist character. This is what we assigned to the protagonist character. We can just give it a try. Let's just reset it. And he starts off running. So the third trigger that we have here is the one where he lands. Sorry, we're not there. Sorry. Okay, this is it. The third trigger is when he transitions from the running into the walking state right here. That's what this transition does. Running to walking. And that's what we're seeing right here. So it still works is what I'm trying to say. So you can use either way to specify how the crowd trigger will target specific agents. Now we can also do that to the transition as well. So we can come here and enable this and make sure it only applies to the protagonist character. Okay, let's go back to the fourth crowd trigger and let's fix this so that it only applies to our small gang of agents. Because right now, as we can see in the spreadsheet, it's applying everything. This walk away group, it's putting everything in it right away. Let's enable this and let's see what we have. So we can apply it to the idle. This small gang of agents are the only ones that are ever in the idle state, and it just works out. So you can use this, and these groups, these stream groups, are created automatically in the crowd simulation for us. So let's just give this a try. They're actually switching to the walking. So the crowd trigger works. You can see in the state information, our gang is actually switching over. They're slowly switching over from the idle to the walking. So the trigger is working. However, this group is still not, because if we rewind back, it's already in the walkaway group. So we're still not achieving what we want. Let me go to the crowd transition. Now here, I'm going to do the same thing and enable this over here so we can narrow it down and we can actually transition the agents and apply this one line of vex code to the group of people that we want. Well, there's nothing created for us, but that's okay. We already know what we want. We already know what the group of agents is called. It's equal to 2. So let's try that. Line. So we can see that the spreadsheet is doing something already. It's missing the group, which makes sense because it's not created yet. So let's play it. Let's continue. The last part of concept 6C in this crowd mini series turned out to be a lot longer than expected. And so I split this into another part 6D video that will hopefully wrap things up with the vex and crowd triggers. Thanks for watching and sticking to the end.